What's going on, friends, family, my people? I got a very special video for you today. I'm going to show you a very interesting conversation I just had with Google AI that I really think you should see. Also, we're going to go over some of the laws that was just passed January 1st, implemented immediately. So I'm going to show you a couple of things you can do to make sure your household is in check, make sure you are secure. Also, there may be some things in your house that you may want to get out of your house immediately. I mean, like immediately. I'm gonna show you how to find them things, but first, hit that intro.
I can tell you the truth because it's not the news.
First, I want to share with you a very special conversation I had with Google AI just the other day, right? So in my last couple of videos, you have been seeing me go hard about this moon map because I think it's a very important revelation that they've been able to hide in plain sight. Nah, we're not letting that slide, y'all. We're going to point it out, okay? So the cry for the moon map has been getting louder every single day. And there's a reason behind it. It's because it absolutely proves the Bible correct that the moon is a witness for us on Earth. So I asked Google AI, why does the land on Earth match the dark spots on the moon, aka the Maria on the moon? And guess what it told me, y'all? It said it is just a coincidence that the land matches the moon. Come on, y'all. We are not accepting that answer. So I had to dig deep and I had to get hyper specific. I said, are you implying that it's just a coincidence that the Maria is shaped like Earth's geography, including placement of neighboring islands, that is all an illusion? And the fact that the land masses line up to where they would be in relation to one another is an impossible coincidence that lava just dried that way. And during navigation, it's just a coincidence that I ended up at the locations that align to pre-colonial, pre-manipulated maps. And it literally said, yes, it is scientifically confirmed that any perceived resemblance between the shapes of the lunar Maria and Earth's geography is purely a coincidence and an optical illusion, everybody. Okay, it's just an optical illusion, y'all. It's optical illusion, everybody. Like, there's nothing to see here, okay? It's just crazy optical illusion. We're not letting that slide. So I said, hey, okay, give me the odds that not only does the land match the shapes, but you can also navigate using the moon as your map. What are the odds that it's just some dried hot lava that just dried like the shapes of the geography of Earth? And this is more importantly, and you can use it to navigate successfully from anywhere on Earth to anywhere on Earth accurately, more accurate than Google Maps. What are the odds behind that? And it literally said the probability of that being a coincidence is 0. Okay. And there's no other answer to give behind it. Family, we need to wake up. They have been lying to you. So if anybody's telling you, don't worry about the moon cycle or the moon map, or don't worry about the shape of the Earth, it's not important. Ask them this: why does the shapes on the moon's Maria match the Earth? Before they go any further with talking to you, ask them to explain that, and ask them why they want you to just ignore that. This is not just about the shape of the Earth. This is about where you live, family. Why does it matter? Truth always matters, family. What they are hiding is the actual creator of everything, the almighty creator, literally not too far above our heads. Family, they have been lying to us. So we are going to take back that power. I want to give a shout out from Google AI for actually telling the truth that the probability is 0. That is just a coincidence. So you are likely to get the same exact answer no matter what chat AI you are using. Okay, let me give you a little tip right here. If you really want to get closer to the truth of the matter, no matter what subject you are studying, because AI is a useful tool, you want to get your AI anchored in biblical truth. Even if the answer you're looking for is not Bible related, you want to get it anchored because the Bible is the only way to see clearly. It's the only lens that you will get closer to the true answer. So you want to anchor it and tell it to only use strictly biblical, non-manipulated, non-later rabbi translation, non-Babylonian influence. And what's going to happen is it's going to anchor and get you closer to the truth of the matter, no matter what the subject matter is. Now, let's talk about some of the recent developments, especially in the banking industry. OK, I don't see a lot of people talking about this, but this is very important. Okay, let's talk about the interest rate autonomy directive. Okay, so what this is it was basically like the training wheels. So if you have like a credit card or a mortgage or anything like that, before they changed the rates on you, they had to have like meetings and discussions about it. But now they took those guardrails off. So I really want you to imagine what that's going to do. If you have a credit card, right, at a variable rate, or a mortgage with an interest rate or anything like that, or even just savings accounts, right, that's federally funded. Okay, so with the removal of the guardrails, what this does is it gives the banks the ability to overnight change the interest rate. Okay, so if you have a variable interest rate, say like at 13%, overnight they could change it to make it go up to 50%. What we are witnessing is the finalization of the mark of the beast system. Now, this system was giving out credit cards left and right last year to people who don't even qualify, okay? And they know by these increased prices, a lot of people are living off of their credit cards. So now imagine this. You have a high balance on your credit card, and now they increase the interest rates overnight, okay? We want to be protected from that. This beast system is also in the process of finalizing the biometric oath that they're going to want you to sign in order to do any kind of banking. Okay. And you have people like Bill Gates who are like, oh, if you don't want to sign over your biometric authority, you could just be kicked out of the system. You don't have to cooperate with us. You could just go somewhere, right? They know they are trying to get you to opt in to the biometric system. And that is exactly what Yahuah warned us about, because when you are tracked on the blockchain and they have your biometric access, they can basically control you, because if you are not doing what they want you to do, they can scare you and close your account and things like that. But when you are not financially pigeonholed, they have less access and control over you. So I really want you to think about the hidden agenda of this economic collapse that they are orchestrating right now. Companies have been firing employees left and right. Okay, they said 2025 was a very big year for firing people, and they said 2026 is going to be even bigger. And I want you to really think about this. Okay, they are having AI and robots replace these jobs. You don't got to pay AI sick time or vacation, anything like that, right? And they can work without rest, right? Why are all the prices going up? Okay, if you have free labor, why are all the prices going up? Doesn't make sense, family. They are trying to get you to submit to the mark of the beast system, where you are reliant on the government's handout. They're calling it the universal basic high income, where they just give you a check. I want you to think about this, though. They are going to require you to do things in order to get that basic check. Okay, this is part of the finalization of the mark of the beast system. Do not comply. They are literally trying to deplete your funds to make you submit. Okay, and I want you to think about this. What was just announced? They just announced that if you have any student loans or medical debts, that they are literally going to start garnishing your payroll check. Okay, the last president said that it's forgiven. You don't got to pay back those loans. But now people that stop paying, not only do you owe that balance, you owe all the interest on top of that, y'all. It is a scam. So how convenient that now you owe all this money, and at the same time, they just defunded the Customer Financial Protection Bureau. So the people that used to fight for us on our behalf is now defunded by Trump. So now you have nobody that's going to speak up on your behalf. This is how the Babylonian system treats its people. Okay, that's why we got to lock in with Yahuah. He is the only savior for us, especially in moments like this where the line in the sand is so defined, it is not mistakable what side we should be on. So this is the call to action for protection over your household. Okay. Number one, if you have any high interest credit cards, you need to pay that off immediately, especially if it has a variable interest rate. Here's 3 things to keep in mind. Number one is this: any money you have in the bank, especially if it's over $250,000, it is not FDIC insured. That includes your retirement funds. Okay. It's easy to say, I ain't got that kind of money in my checking or my savings. Well, what about your retirement funds? If it's over that 250,000 mark, it is not insured. Number 2, anything you have in the bank safe deposit boxes do not belong to you. You got to read the fine print. If you have anything in those bank vaults, if the bank wants to, they can legally take whatever you have in there and keep it for themselves. Not just the bank, but if the government goes in there, that belongs to them. You may want to think about putting it somewhere else, family. And number 3, for all my crypto investors and stockholders, okay? If you have any cryptocurrency on a centralized exchange like Coinbase or Robinhood, that crypto investment do not belong to you. What you want to do is you want to take ownership of your investment. You want to get an external wallet and send that cryptocurrency to your external wallet, something like a Ledger or a Treasure. You want to stay away from hot wallets like MetaMask or Trust Wallet, unless you just have like a little small amount of money on there. But you don't want to put the majority of your money on anything that is called a hot wallet, because that seed phrase is online and somebody can just hack that and steal your funds. Now let's move on to our next topic. Let's talk about fear. Fear is self. Okay. We do not fear. We see all this thing going on with Babylon and we see what they trying to do and lock people up for no reason and freeze bank accounts. Even with all that going on, we do not want to show fear. We want to draw close to the Almighty because he promises protection. Fear is an act of worship. So when you fear these people, you are literally providing worship. Whether you know it or not, you are providing worship to their cause. We only want to fear the Almighty, the only one that deserves the fear. It's the fear of disappointing him. Okay. He's going to look out for us. It's not a terrorized fear. It's just that we don't want to upset or disappoint him because he is taking care of all of our needs when you draw close to him. So let's go into an even deeper topic. Okay. Let's talk about judgment, family. We are living in a time of judgment for the nations. It is time to get our households in order. If you have anything going on that you don't need to have going on, right now is a good time to check that. How do we know we are living in that time of judgment? We have the prophecy of Daniel chapter 12, verse 3 and 4 that lets us know that we are directly in that generation that was prophesied about. Now, this prophecy in Daniel is a layered prophecy, and it's going to hit a little different when I show you this. Verse 3 says, the wise will shine bright as the firmament, and they will turn many to righteousness as the stars. Now, I want you to take a mental note of that, okay? Because Yahuah repeatedly describes his followers with wisdom as being bright like stars of the firmament. It literally enlightens you and gets you free from this Babylonian captivity, okay? Now, look at verse 4. Verse 4 says that Daniel is to seal up these prophetic words until the time of the end, where many shall run to and fro, and the knowledge should be increased. So who are the ones running to and fro? This is where it gets deep, family. So you can contrast and cross-reference that scripture in Daniel with Amos chapter 8, verse 11 and 12, where Yahuah says he will cause a famine, not of bread and water, but of wisdom to be found. So the running to and fro that's brought out in Amos helps us to understand that the running to and fro is the searching the scriptures for knowledge. Okay, now we could return to Daniel chapter 12, verse 10, where it says at the end times, after the words are unsealed, the wise will understand, but the wicked cannot. It's talking about the prophecies, the judgment calls, the restoration of the actual names to be used again, family. Don't let anybody tell you that the names don't actually matter and they got lost in translation. Don't worry about what the actual name is. How disrespectful and blasphemous to say something like that. Another prophetic marker is people are going to start waking up across the earth and realize that we should start keeping the commandments of the Torah. Torah is just another way of saying laws, okay? Don't be afraid to use the word Torah. And that's exactly what's happening across the earth, okay? They're obviously not talking about it on the news because they don't want you to see this awakening that's literally occurring under our noses. But it is happening, family. So let's dig even deeper in this Daniel prophecy, okay? It gets even deeper, okay? It directly lines up with Revelation chapter 8, verses 12, okay? Remember, Yahuah speaks about his people like being bright stars, or his wisdom being bright as the stars in the firmament. So look at the prophetic judgment, family. In verse 12 of chapter 8 of Revelation, it says that a third of the sun, moon, and stars will be darkened. So following pattern recognition, we can clearly see that this Babylonian government have been silencing and muting the wisdom of Yahuah. We can see that with the increased persecution. Okay. Did you know if you bought a Bible or if you even bought anything from the Bass Pro Shop, you are on a government watch list? They are literally silencing the stars or the bright wisdom of Yahuah. With Yahuah allowing his word to be silenced with the fourth trumpet, he is literally allowing for the separation between the wheat and the tares. Okay. Now the wisdom is going to start going away and all the noise is going to start getting louder. What that's going to do is that's going to draw a defined line in the sand so you can clearly see what side we should be on. So because we have a loving creator, he don't leave us in the dark. Okay. He said he's going to tell us what's going to happen and keep us informed. So let's take a look at the fifth trumpet. All right. If we go to Revelation chapter 9, verses 1 through 12, it talks about a high ranking demon or Satan himself given the key to release the symbolic swarm of locusts, given the authority to sting man like the sting of a scorpion, to torment people that are not sealed. So what is that pointing to? That's pointing to artificial intelligent swarms. The Babylonian system have literally called their artificial intelligent swarms, mocking the Bible. Now think about how deep that really gets. It says that men will be seeking death and will not be able to find it. So imagine how fitting that is if somebody literally have connected themselves to the Neuralink or the neural lace, signing over your biometric authority to this corrupt government. Another thing that arises from the releasing of these locusts is not just financial confusion, but it's also spiritual confusion, because the exposing of false religion and exposing of false government. So personally, that's where I think we are heading into the sounding of the fifth trumpet of judgment, family. Like we just saw what this government just did. They just gave AI all the authority to rule the country. And you can't even question what happens if something goes wrong. There's nobody to call. That's absolutely ridiculous. We are literally entering into that fifth trumpet of judgment. We don't have a whole lot of time to mess around. We got to get our lives in order right now while there's still time. So in alignment with getting our lives in order and getting our houses in order, to keep it simply put, what we have to do is just follow the commandments, family. It is not hard. It is not impossible. But let me highlight one of the commandments that seem to be overlooked. And I don't think it's an accident. Okay. It's one of the ones that identify us directly with the creator. And it is observing the Sabbath on the seventh day. So how do you observe the Sabbath? Okay. What do you have to do? The Sabbath is a gift. It is a day of rest. Okay. It says no buying or selling, no work, relax. You want to chill, put your feet up. Okay. Use that as an opportunity to read some scripture. Okay. From Friday sundown to Saturday sundown. He wants you to build up your relationship with him and take that as an opportunity to draw closer to him and to your family. So here's a few lesser spoken about things that we can do to make sure that we are in alignment with the creator. Okay. We want to pray for forgiveness and repent, which means not turn back around and keep doing the same thing over and over and expecting him to just keep forgiving us. If you are repenting, that means you are not turning back to the old ways. Now, another very important thing we want to do is we want to pray for a release from any oaths that our ancestors might have put on us. Believe it or not, curses can travel through the bloodline. So you want to pray for a release from that. We also want to pray for a release for anything that we have knowingly or unknowingly signed ourselves up to, any oaths that we have taken. Okay, you want to pray for a release on all of that. These are very important steps, and it's very shocking that a lot of these religions don't speak about this. Okay, Yahuah is not a religion. It is a relationship. And like I said at the beginning of the video, we might have things in our house that we may want to get out like immediately. Okay. Any items in our house that have been prayed over by a demonic influence or occultic, or any signs or sigils or even pictures, you got to look around your house, right? You want to get rid of anything that is tied to the occult, because what that's doing is you're literally leaving the door open for the demonic influences to come right into your home. So what you want to do is say a heartfelt prayer and ask the creator to open your eyes to see anything that may be in your house that you got to get out immediately. And he can expose these things to you in the most unsuspecting ways. Okay. Ways that you won't even expect he can use to show these items to you. Okay. He used my cat. I saw my cat clawing under the bed, like looking at something, and he was trying to get my attention. Right. And I went over there, and I'm telling you, the cat was looking up at me like, yo, I need you to check this out. So I went over there and I lift up the bed. And sure enough, there was a box there, and it had all kind of little occultic items from, these little festivals and fairs that I went to, literally having the Eye of Ra in the box, and things that was just little stickers and little things that was just handed to me. And I just put it in the box and put it under the bed. We got to purify the house. We got to get those things out immediately. All right, before I get up out of here, I got one more special announcement, and this goes out to my friends and family that are still Jehovah's Witnesses. You need to listen up and hear this very closely, okay? Any organization that is asking you for blind faith, you are following man. Okay. When the creator asks us to do something, his results don't come back as a failure. Okay. These men, these governing bodies, they are telling you to give them blind faith. They are putting themselves on the same pedestal as the creator. You got to pay attention to what they're telling you to do. Okay. When Yahuah tells us to do something, it may not make sense, but we do it, right? These men are not the creator. Their results come back as a complete failure. Do some research on what 1914 actually is and where they got it from. Did you know they got it from pyramidology? It's literally in the books. They tell you how they got the date 1914. It was from occultic practice with pyramidology. Then they later try to come and say, oh, we got it from scriptures, and they jump all over the Bible to try to make it sound like that's where they got it from. Listen, family, it is written in the books. They got it from studying pyramids, which is a demonic practice. And this is a very important note to take, okay? New World Translation Bible. My wife and I was studying our Bible reading the other day, and we came across this verse right here, Mark chapter 7, verse 16. This verse right here literally is taken out of the New World Translation. But look at the verse they took out. Look at what it says. It says that let him who have ears hear, right? Why would you take that verse out? Literally what you need in this environment is eyes to see and ears to hear. Why would they take that verse out? Family, we got to get back to the scriptures, okay? Not what some man-made governing body or any religious organization is telling you what the scriptures say. We need to read the scriptures for ourselves in full and completeness. So I really wanted to get that final announcement out there, family, because I'm changing the direction of this channel. Okay. I'm not going to be catering to anybody who don't have eyes to see or ears to hear. I'm really going to be putting this information towards people who actually want to learn and who have a humble heart, humble enough to just search the scriptures. Okay. If anybody's telling you to shield your eyes and not pay attention, you got to get away from them. We are to verify all things. In my future videos, we're going to be doing just that. We're going to be moving more into an environment of how to strengthen our relationship with the creator, things that we could be doing to make sure that we have our homes in order, family. Okay, on that note, friends, family, my people, we out.